Hey there, this is Philip Koerper. This is the Philip Koerper Show. This is my personal opinion, not of my employers or anyone else, not medical advice either. Little disclaimers. Just want to do a quick little video on coronavirus, COVID-19, this pandemic. First of all, I just want to start off. I wish we would have done what President Obama did with swine flu. In 2009, him and Fauci, they stopped all the testing. Swine flu was real. They were trying to work on a vaccine. I believe they did come up with a vaccine, but anyhow, most of us don't know much about swine flu. It came and went so fast because we stopped all the testing. The panic went away without the testing. People still got sick, flu-like illness, H1N1, and people died. It was sad. I mean, these flu illnesses can be really bad, but there was not a huge public outrage because President Obama stopped the testing. The doctors just treated the patients, and we got a handle on it. No public panic, no lockdowns, no masks, no closing churches, no, nothing. Oh, brilliant. This is how we should really have done this. Okay, we panicked. With COVID-19, we panicked. We just freaked out, and politicians on both sides of the aisle really got roped up into this. I really literally think this is going to go down as one of the world's biggest hoaxes, biggest malfunctions, government malfunctions of all time. We don't quite know where the virus started. We have lots of coronaviruses going around. These are cold virus. My hospital already tests for like 3 of them, I believe. And so this is the common cold and different strains of it. And it causes flu-like illness and can kill people. It can. Just like influenza kills people all the time. 2018, we had a bad flu epidemic. My hospital we were busting at the gills. We got really busy. We had ICU beds everywhere. I mean, up to 100,000 Americans can die in a bad flu season. And people get sick. People get a viral pneumonia with influenza. And they get intubated, they're on the ventilator, and they die. This can happen with influenza. This can happen with COVID-19 infection. Thankfully, it is just really rare. And it looks like, as the numbers are bearing out, that the infection fatality rate for COVID-19 might even be less than influenza. And so we had some people in Britain freaked out about this, said 2 to 4 million Americans were going to die from this, and just panicked everybody. The New York City nurses and doctors just freaked out and demanded that they have personal protective equipment. They wanted N95 masks. They wanted ventilators. The press would interview them being tired and just really hysterical about this. And people panicked. Andrew Cuomo wanted more ventilators. Donald gave him more ventilators. Mike Pence was in charge of the coronavirus task force and put Deborah Birx in charge, who was working on the HIV vaccine, which we don't even have. But her and Fauci just kind of took off with this. And Fauci tried to settle things down. No, we don't need the mask. No. So the nurses all wanted the N95 mask, and Fauci said we didn't have to wear the mask, the public didn't, and save them for the doctors and the nurses. Well, Americans are smart. They're like, what? We want the mask if they get the mask. Anyhow, just like a tidal wave of panic overcame everyone. School districts in California started closing. Just a complete hysterical panic over an infection that relatively is just like influenza. We don't wear masks in influenza season. They don't work. Studies have shown since 1947, masks do not work with flu-like illness. They don't. This is why we didn't stockpile them. This is why we didn't have a bunch of tests. We didn't need to do all the testing. Japan has done hardly any test and managed this better than us. This has just been so overblown. Even the CDC says only 6% of all these people who are positive actually die directly from COVID-19. Everyone else is just dying of other things. My mom last March, she died in a nursing home. And you know what? She tested positive for COVID-19. She had the virus like in her nose. It doesn't even mean that she had the illness. So she had a positive test. By the way, the testing is not FDA approved. There are no, the cycles that they amp up are all very different. You can keep doing cycles with the test and you will get a positive result. False positives are incredible. Elon Musk made a big deal about getting 4 tests and he had 2 positive and 2 negative. The testing is fraught with difficulty. That's why the CDC wanted to control all the testing, but people demanded all this testing, millions of tests. CDC doesn't have the capability of doing that, so they lost control of the narrative. People panicked. Fauci just tried to keep up with public opinion, kept changing his mind on masks. And both politicians on both sides, Donald Trump tried to do his best with it. He tried not to do lockdowns. He wanted 15 days to slow the spread, right? Can't stop the virus. We can't crush the virus. Oh, and then we had to have a vaccine to save us. Well, as you know, you probably don't know anyone really close, any healthy people who've died of COVID-19. I don't know of one person who's super healthy. Now, it will happen. It's like people die of influenza all the time. There will be healthy people who die from this. It is probably less than influenza. So complete hysteria over a flu-like illness. Wow. I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and we try to be good global citizens, and we closed our churches and temples down. Unbelievable suffering, hardship, loneliness caused from this, from following the CDC and the WHO. I think they've been wrong. Look at the CDC thought that Zika caused brains to be born without, babies to be born without brains, microcephalia. The CDC said that from Zika infection. Well, guess what? The next year found out that's not true. The CDC can be wrong, and they, in my opinion, have been totally wrong on this. And I'm not alone. I am not alone. People are afraid to speak out because you might get fired, you might get in trouble. I mean, freedom of speech is definitely under a big time assault right now. We remember Andrew Cuomo wanted all those ventilators. The hospitals were never overwhelmed, not even in Italy. I've seen no proof that hospitals been overwhelmed. Our hospitals get very busy. I work in one. We put patients wherever we can. We sometimes have to send patients to other hospitals if we're full, like a hotel. Of course, this happens all the time. We run close to maximum occupancy all the time, or we will go bankrupt. Hospitalizations are not up this year compared to last year. From looking at 2020 compared to 2019, 2018. The CDC is trying to keep all of those numbers secret. Another thing is, you think if coronavirus was really causing a lot of extra dead, we would know exactly what the numbers are? Do you know how many Americans die every day just of natural causes? I think it's around 7,500. That number is not up right now. No. So you say all these extra people are dying. No, they're like my mom. They're like my mom who was dying in a nursing home of dementia and happened to have a positive test right before she died. So she is counted as a Rona death, but she really isn't. She died of dementia. And it was so sad. I'm happy for my mom. She was suffering, and we were actually praying that she would pass quickly because she was suffering. But it's so sad that we couldn't be there. No funeral. All because of this flu-like virus, all because of the lockdowns and the suffering and the job loss. People in my family have lost their jobs over this. I thought I was going to lose my job. We were so slow. We were waiting for the big wave and it never came. We've never been overrun. No, we're a busy hospital. We can handle it. We'll work hard, take care of our patients. We've never been overrun. And wow. And then, we've got Andy Beshear, our Democrat governor of Kentucky, and he keeps locking businesses down. He's locked restaurants down. I live in a McDonald's. I love to be there. I have my friends there to visit with. Dining rooms are closed. There's no science behind any of this. This is a flu-like illness. It's going to go through the country. There's nothing we can do about that. If you're sick, stay home. There is no asymptomatic spread. Looks like there is none. And there's no fomite spread. It's spreading on surfaces. No, the masks do not work. What a false sense of security. And that's why we use the mask. The government wants us to use the mask so we're a pretended sense of security. So we'll fly on our airplanes, right? And sit elbow to elbow, and we can eat. We can eat in an airplane, elbow to elbow. I've done it without a mask on. Oh, we can do that, but I can't go into my McDonald's and couldn't eat. Or we close down restaurants. If you get sick at a restaurant, you get sick from the kitchen, not from the dining room. Deborah Burks, the scarf lady, said that you can't get COVID-19 from the kitchen, from the food. Well, it's spread by aerosol, so she's kind of right, but you can't get it in the dining room either. I mean, it's a virus-like illness. It's like the flu. It's going to spread by aerosolized. If you're sick, you can stay home. If you're at risk, you can stay home. But the rest of us, for us to have limited freedom, for us to not be able to go to church and not be able to partake of the sacrament, so hard. I know so many lonely people. A dear friend of mine, his wife passed during this. The funeral was barely even existent. We couldn't be with him. We can't hug. We can't shake hands. It's just really... It's in the suicide rates, the downstream effects of this, all the people who had a lump in their breast and can't get it checked out, all the colonoscopies that we canceled. So how many people are going to have colon cancer now that we couldn't pick up before and then we couldn't treat? Oh, wow. Huge costs. I could go on and on. This video could be very long and very boring. But and I just wanted to kind of wrap this up with the vaccine. I think the vaccine's safe, but I think your chance of dying from coronavirus, COVID-19, is so very low that most people don't even want the vaccine. They don't want it because they're not afraid of Rona, and they shouldn't be. If you're seriously sick and other problems, a flu-like illness, it could push you over. Yeah, that is true. That is totally true. That's always been true. And it's hard for us to treat that. It's very hard. And so I'm not against the vaccine. I just don't want to wear the masks. I don't want to have the lockdowns. This is not science at all. Okay? It's just propaganda. It's really propaganda. And I see it's just Democrat propaganda. All my Democrat friends really believe in the Rona and really believe in the mask. Okay? And look, I think they really, I think the Democrats use this to their advantage. And I don't think we had a fair election because of that. I really don't. So anyhow, bottom line, COVID-19, I think it's going to go down. It's going to go down as, wow, I wish we wouldn't have responded like this. I wish we would have treated it like President Obama did, like swine flu. Just let the doctors take care of the infections, the viral pneumonias, try to save those patients the best they can. If the vaccine, we can get a vaccine, go for it. If people want to take it, they can take it. But it's so funny, my friends, no one even wants the vaccine because they're really not even afraid of the Rona. They know it's not serious. I don't have any good friends, I know a lot of people in healthcare. And we're not heroes, we're just doing our job. And it's not a very dangerous illness at all. The complete hysteria over this, and it's just really been politically motivated, in my humble opinion. Well, all is well. God's in control. We're going to be fine. I'm a Christian. I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I know God loves us, and He loves America, and He's trying to bless us. He's trying to bless us, and if we're obedient, and if we are eligible for some of those blessings, I know we'll get them. You guys have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.